Hello YouTube, HP Zeta here today, and what I thought I'll do is quickly take a sip of my cool drink and explain to you guys where I am at the moment at the house, and go through the process of what it's like to buy a house in South Africa, what you can expect, what goes on, that sort of stuff. So first things first, ice cold Coca-Cola. Today it's 29 degrees with like 80% humidity, so I'm fairly glad I've got something cold to drink. So, before I switch over the screen here, let's first just go over where I'm at in the process of buying a house and what's going on. So, as per my last video, I'm taking occupational rent from the 1st of March. That means that the house isn't on my name yet, but I'm paying some money towards the original owners and basically renting it for that period until the house is on my name. So the 28th, I'm going to go down. I'm going to go fetch the keys, and I can then start working on the house. Officially, I'm starting to paint on the same day. So I'm getting a painter in to professionally do that for me, because I can get like a casual laborer in to do it, but at the end of the day, that's not guaranteed. I don't know what the work is going to be like. I'll have to buy everything from the paint rollers to the plastic sheets that you need to put on the floor to you name it. Well, if you get a painter in to actually do it for you professionally, they provide you with all of that, and you can get a trusted one in that the paint company actually recommends for you, and you know that you're going to get some good work, and it's guaranteed for 5 years. So 5 years from now, if your paint starts to like peel or damage or anything like that, you phone them up and you say, "Oh, you did the painting for me 5 years ago. It's starting to peel." They come out and they fix it for you. Or normally that's what happens. The big thing there is you need to choose a company that actually you know will still be around in 5 years' time. That's why it's so nice going through the paint companies, because they'll go through their books and they'll tell you, okay, this person has been buying paint for the last 12 years from us. We know he's reputable. We know he's been around. Okay, that's a person you can go with, and they'll give you a number, and you get like 2 or 3 quotes from these people, and you choose the one that you're the most comfortable with. Don't ever choose like the lowest one. Make sure it's like the intermediate or modestly priced one, because the lowest ones tend to be quite desperate and don't pay their staff and their employees maybe as well, and they're not always that good. So you tend to go for the slightly more expensive one that kind of gives you like good vibes when you go and ask for a quote and as professional and all that. So once I receive my keys, I can then start moving some of my stuff over. Okay, so painting should take about 3 days to do. After that, I'm going to slowly start moving stuff into my car and driving it over and moving it in. And then about the middle of the month sometime, I'm not giving you the exact date, we are going to like move everything, like all the furniture, all the stuff into the new house. And then you'll probably see me within a week or two after that, because I'm going to be moving in without internet. I'm not going to apply for internet until I'm at the house. That way that I can apply for the internet and I can physically take maybe a day's leave when they arrive to go fit the internet, and I'll work from home that day, whatever the case may be. If I don't do it that way around, I'll have to take like a full day's leave. And it's a thing. So it makes a bit more sense for me. And I don't mind being without internet for a little while. So what I thought we'll do is we'll quickly go through the process of buying a house in South Africa. So you can go to lots of websites, you can check out properties, and this is Property 24. It's probably one of the biggest ones in South Africa. And what I like about this site is they actually give you like city trends. So you can have a look at, in 2009, the average house was going for 1.187. Today, it's like 1.825, so it's gone up by like 700,000 in the span of about 8 years. So of course you can get one of these, and they're quite expensive. Now we can't afford these, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to say order price low to high. So this is generally the first step that you'll take when you're looking for a house in South Africa, and you need to pay careful attention to where the houses are at. A lot of these are close to informal settlements, or actually in informal settlements. Like this one might seem like a very cheap house, but it's by Beverly Hills, and I know there's an informal settlement close by. and it could be a problem. There's also a whole lot of vacant lands. Why would you sell a house for that same price as a vacant land plot? Something's odd with this one. So we just go past these, and here's more or less where my budget. So you can go past and you can see that we're still at land, like a 1-room bedroom in Westville. So let's change this from Westville to another area. Let's take Pinetown. There's going to be better luck for me to find a house in that price bracket. Pinetown. Okay. Price is low to high, but yet they show me 5,205. Okay, this is industrial plot, so don't worry about those. Let's carry on here. Let's find a house. Let's find a house. Okay, so all these criminal issue. Let's take a nice one here in New Jersey. Here's a little apartment, because I've got a cat, I can't stay in an apartment. So here's a nice 3-bedroom house. So at this stage you can click on there and you can have a look at the house, see what it's like, see what amenities are there. And what I want to show you here is, okay, that's a time calculator, we don't need that. So I'm going to go here to the bond calculator, that's somewhere on their side. So you've got this house, and this looks like it's more or less in your price range. So you then see that the interest rate, if you get the interest rate at the bank for like 10.25, this is a very good interest rate. I'm getting mine is about 10.75. Okay, but you can see that you're going to pay 4,810 Rand per month for this house, and this isn't quite the whole story. Okay, so on top of that, this is a freestanding house, so you're going to have to go to the bank and ask the bank for a loan to get this house. And in doing so, the first thing they'll tell you is, number one, you need insurance. So you have to add home insurance on there. So that's another 700 Rand more or less. Then you have to add your taxes. So let's see if we're lucky and this actually mentions the tax on this page. They don't always. It's a very cheap area though, so you know this is quite a dodgy area because the tax is only 200 Rand. Okay, so you need to add about 1,000 Rand on there for your bond for taxes. So you know that that's about 5,810. Is it in your price range? Maybe, maybe not. If not, you just keep on looking. Okay, if this isn't what's the name? If it's like a townhouse or a flat or something like that, you need to make sure that your levies are included as well. It's normally another 1,250 Rand, so you add that on as well. So already that this house, it was 4,810 Rand, it's more in the vicinity of like 7,000 Rand per month. So you know now that's your budget. So what is the next step? The next step is you're going to go talk to the estate agent. You're going to say, oh, I'd like to go and view this house. If you're lucky, the estate agent still has this house listed for sale, because they're extremely lazy. They like keeping the old homes on the site and not taking them off, because if you phone them up on an old home, they'll just say, no, I don't have it, but I've got like 4 others. Do you want to go have a look? And they'll normally force you to go look at 4 houses not even remotely related to the one that you wanted to go see in the first place. So I'll just say stick on going online, going through the site, because all of the estate agents lists all of their houses on the site. So you might as well just like stay on here and get the one that you like. So we've now done our shopping. We've liked that one that I saw just now. So you go to the estate agent, you view it, you like it, you want to buy it. So the first thing the estate agent wants you to do is sign an offer to purchase. Now what this isn't a purchase agreement. Either party can still cancel at any time during this agreement if you put in an offer to purchase. It just means you're interested in getting the place. And during the offer to purchase, they'll start asking you like the more difficult questions, like do you want occupational rent? What else was on there? Do you have any pets? Is there any conditions? So you can see if we have a look at this house here, it has some cracks here. See? So So you might sign an offer to purchase, and you might say on the offer to purchase, I will only move into this house if these cracks are repaired, because you can see that this place that's structural, that you don't want to move in there. But anyway, you might say in the occupation in the offer to purchase, you only want to move in if the cracks are fixed. And you might say, okay, I really like your price that you're asking here, which is 490,000. Okay, if you can't fix the cracks, I'm only going to offer you 400,000 or whatever the case may be. What then happens is they take the offer to purchase, so you don't have to ever take it at full price. I recommend whenever you go buy a house, always negotiate for lower. But anyway, the estate agent takes your offer to purchase, shows it to the person whose home it is, and they didn't have the choice. They might go, I had a look at this, but you know what, you'll only purchase it if I fix those cracks. But I know this is a structural problem, and this house, it's going to cost me a lot to fix it. And they'll just say, no, we won't. Your offer to purchase is no longer valid. Okay, you can then counter that, and you can say, okay, yeah, I'll fix it, but once again, I want it then for 420,000. The process starts over again. So they don't see it, and eventually, the whole point of doing all of that is at the end of it, you want to have one where both parties are like happy with each other. Because you don't want to move in and upset the person you're buying from. That's always a bad thing, because they can do a lot of damage and stuff. So your OP goes through. During the process of the offer to purchase, the estate agent might send you a list of everything that the owner knows is wrong with the house. So it might have those cracks listed on that, and might have a few other things listed on there. And this is very important. This is a document you want to save. Don't lose it. So, both parties agreed. You've got that. Now, the next problem is you need a bond. Okay. So there's two ways to handle this. You can go to your bank in advance. You can ask them, I want to be pre-approved for a bond. And they'll look at your finances, and you fill in like a 5-page document that asks you for all of your expenditure, what your salary is, what income streams you've got, all of that. And they might say, okay, you're pre-approved for up to $1 million. And just remember, even if you're pre-approved, always take a look at what you can actually afford. Don't just take it on face value and say, they say I can do $1 million, I'm going to buy a house for $1 million. You will go bankrupt. They will always give you more than what you actually have. So that's the first way to do it. But the better way to do it, you go to a company like Better Bond, which I'll show you here. What this company does is you go there and you fill in the same forms you would have at your bank, whichever bank you do. But they take the forms and they send it out to like 5 or 10 different banks. They send it out, within a few days you get a reply and you get bonds from everywhere. But what's nice about them is the first place they ask is your own bank that you bank at. And they might get like interest rate of 10.8 at your bank the first time round. Then they'll go and they'll ask everyone else, and they'll get the quotes back. And you'll find that one company will always be cheaper than the rest. They'll take the cheapest one they can find, go back to your bank and say, hi, you've actually got a client that's been banking with you for X number of years. You want to keep him. You want to keep him like happy. Here's a problem. He found a bond cheaper somewhere else. Can you match this? And 9 times out of 10, the bank will actually go, yeah, we'll match it for you. We'll do the same percentage. Perfect. Okay, you'll get a phone call from your bank, and they'll say, okay, we had an inquiry or whatever, stating that you want to buy a house, it's sure it's you, whatever the security stuff is. At this stage, okay, you're still not 100% forced to buy the house. Okay, because your offer to purchase has an expiry date, and during that time, you need to try and get a bond by the end of the expiry date. If you do not get a bond at the end of the expiry date, the offer to purchase just disappears. It goes away. And that could be because A, no one wants to give you a loan. B, you're trying to get a loan for that's too expensive for what you can get. or C, you suddenly have cold feet, you want to move out. So you just get all of these quotes and then you just ignore it and wait for it to expire. It's a terrible thing to do to a estate agent. It's a terrible thing to do to someone selling a house. I won't recommend doing that, but if it's an emergency, let's say you're like struck by a bus and you're in hospital and you suddenly have these bills to pay and you can't afford a house anymore, at this stage, you've got that option. You can pay for time. Right, so now you've got the house you want to buy, you've got your bond, got your offer to purchase. The next step is you need to approach your bank and say, okay, I'm going to take the bond by you, fill in some more paperwork from your bank and they'll approve it. Suddenly now you'll get contacted by 2 lawyers. Now both of these are normally assigned by the estate agent, okay, and your bank. So both of them, you have no control over who you choose. You can ask for someone else, but they'll choose someone else on your behalf. You can make a suggestion on who you want to use. You might get them. But basically, they're in control about who you choose. So you've got your transfer lawyer and your bond lawyer. Following me on this. So your bond lawyers is there for the best interest of the bank. They're there to ensure that all of the documents are correct for you to get the loan to pay for the house. The transfer lawyer is there for the transfer of the property from the owner's what's the name, title or his name to your name. You actually get ownership of this property. Right, so it's quite complicated, this process. So you can do several things, like for instance your transfer lawyer will help you with occupational rent. Transfer lawyer will help you with any clauses that you had in the contract that needs to be done ahead of time. They'll ask you as well, both of them, you need to go in to sign documents at certain times, and of course during this whole process you need to constantly feed them your pay slips, feed them your bank statements and all of that stuff. Like every single person in this chain had to have those, and they'll ask you for it as you progress. So you get to the part where you actually have to go sign. So you go out, okay. Bond lawyer took me about an hour and a half to sign. It was 40-50 pages long. And the transfer lawyer took about an hour and a half. And now this is where you need to have deep pockets. Suddenly you get invoices from your transfer lawyer and your bank lawyer. Normally, it depends on the size of the house you're buying and how difficult it is to get for you. In my case, I'm going to switch it over here to this camera. Okay. In my case, it worked out to about 40,000 Rand between the 2 lawyers, and you have to pay that. You're responsible for paying these lawyers. This is why a lot of people don't buy homes. Even if you get like a bond that's like 100% covered, that means that 100% of the bond the bank is paying you. You still have to find 40,000 Rand to pay the lawyers to get the bond and the property and all of that sorted. And that's where the problem comes. That's why a lot of people in South Africa just keep on renting. Because honestly, if you have a look at the price of what you rent, what you pay for, it's the same price. You're not paying much different. So if you're in the market for a house in South Africa, save as much money as you can so you can pay for those 2 lawyers. Because once that property is purchased, it's your property. You're paying towards your own home. You're not paying towards someone else's. You don't have to worry about the rent increasing by 10% every year and getting more expensive. You just have to worry about inflation, because if inflation goes up, your bond goes up. And luckily, inflation in South Africa has been okay so far. Doesn't mean like terrible. So it's very much doable. Buy a house. So what's the next step? You fill in all of the forms, you paid both of your lawyers, now you just wait. It's a waiting game. So what happens now is the transfer lawyer needs the bond approval. The bond approval lawyer needs a whole bunch of documents and stuff filled out. And the transfer lawyer also needs like electrical certificate to make sure that the house is safe to go into your name and safe to sell. They also do quite a few other things, but the gist of that, you'll deal with the process. It's a stressful process. all of that's done. You've done your waiting. It's now time to move in for occupational rent. So you pay the money to your transfer lawyer. Transfer lawyer pays it to the homeowner. You can then move in. You can start minor alterations and that sort of stuff. I won't recommend it because like anything can still happen in this process. Like let's say the house can't get an electrical certificate, even though you're like right at the last part. You can't take it without that electrical certificate. So you could move in, do minor changes, and that's the exact point I'm at the moment. At that point, you just wait, basically, and move in. Within a few months, you pay your occupation rate. What size of your occupation rate can be a little bit less than what your bond cost would be. You can save a little bit of money, come out a little bit better because there's all of these hidden costs, and it's finally now in your name, and you're done. Not quite. And you have to go and change the electrical account and the water account to your name. That means going to the South African Water Light Department or whatever it's called, and Eskom or whoever handles your electric, and getting those two things changed into your name. When all of that is said and done and finished, you finally, you're a homeowner, it's yours, pay your bond, but there's some caveats. So, my recommendation is have a look at how much money you can afford per month. So use that rates calculator I showed you earlier. Calculate your rates according to how long you can pay. So let's just say it works out to 5,000 Rand on a 20-year bond and 6,000 Rand on a 10-year bond. What you do is you take the 20-year, even though you can afford the 10-year, you take the 20-year but pay it off as if you're paying the 10-year. So you pay an extra 1,000 Rand into your bond every single month. And what that allows you to do is then when you've got a hard month, you can then just slack it off and then pay just the normal price again for that month and then bring it back when you can. And this means that you'll actually pay off your bond quicker. You won't get interest on top of interest. You won't pay back as much. But it gives you that little bit of freedom so that sometimes you've got a hard month. You need an extra 1,000 Rand. You can do it that way. And after 30 years, unless there's any major change in South African legislation, house is yours, paid off, stop paying the bond, you can stay there for the rest of eternity. As long as you pay your taxes, you'll always pay now until eternity. The sad reality is with the new laws coming to South Africa, they can actually now try and take your hard purchased house away from you, but I'm not going to get into politics. Yeah, so that's a process you go through when you buy a house. And I hope that a lot of you watch this today because it's like 23 minutes of just constant talking, and I've been talking quite fast about this. And yeah, it's expropriation without compensation is the new law. That's a whole nother kettle of fish. I'm not going to tackle that on my channel. So anyway, if you guys like this 20-minute ramble, let me know. I can do more. There probably won't be any other videos for me, until like the end of March, because I'm moving. I'm expecting to do a lot of videos though, so it's going to be like time-lapse videos. So I hope they're interesting. Cheerio.